Welcome everyone to our speaker series for the month of July 2021. We're so excited this month. We are focusing on our food programs, not only CalFresh, but also our food pantry program. Catholic Charities, we strengthen and stabilize families. And part of that, the core to stabilization of a family and to strengthen a family is food, access to food. And a lot of times, because of a pandemic, because of life circumstances, unforeseen circumstances, we are left maybe with less access or less ability to purchase the food and nutrients that are necessary for our family. And it's so important for us that our community understands that you're not alone, that we are here to support you. We offer great programs. We have our team members here today to talk about these programs. And it's really life-saving, right? A lot of times healthy food, nutritious food can really make a difference in the long run in terms of a family's health and also financial budget. So we'll start off with introductions. We'll start with Donna, if you can give us your name and what you do here at Catholic Charities.
Hi, this is Donna Height, and I'm our CalFresh Outreach Specialist. And I don't know if a lot of people that are eligible for CalFresh are aware that they're eligible. If you're receiving Social Security or SSI, you can certainly apply for the CalFresh program. It is not a public charge, so that is not a concern with CalFresh. And there's a number of ways to apply with us. You can either contact us directly through email, you can call us on the phone, or you're more than welcome to come down to the Vallejo office and we're happy to assist you. The application process takes about 10 minutes. We can tell you what documents to bring so we can attach them directly to your application. Your interview with the county is actually over the phone, so there's no reason for you to have to go down to the Health and Social Service building.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Donna. I think you went straight into CalFresh. It seemed like it's the passion of yours. You know it straight off.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I love it.
The fire within.
Yeah, no, just straight into it, right? The wonderful program of CalFresh. And Donna, how long have you been with Catholic Charities?
For 15 years.
That makes a big difference. And you've seen this CalFresh program
For the past 11 years.
Nice.
Working
wow.
directly
So for 11
with
years.
CalFresh.
Helping families and individuals access food. And the next, our other team member is Raniel. You can introduce yourself and what you do here at Catholic Charities.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to say I'm very excited to be here today with Miriam and the speaker series. I've been following it on YouTube for a while now, so this is a big step for us here. Yeah, my name is Raniel Guba. I'm the Food Access Coordinator here at Catholic Charities and also a CalFresh representative alongside Donna, who has been helping me through learning the whole process. So I'm relatively new here, so it's definitely been a big help from everybody to do this.
That's awesome. Thank you, Raniel and Donna. So let's go in a little bit more into CalFresh, because I think Donna started us off, right? So we know it's an easy process, right, Donna?
Yes, very.
How long does the application take again?
An average application takes maybe 10 minutes, sometimes less.
Oh, wow.
If it's a large family, it may take us a little longer.
And so folks can apply how?
Either on phone, through email, or in person.
As well as online. We have
and online, yes, that's right, because we have our QR code.
That's right, we do have a QR code.
So you can go directly online and do it yourself if you prefer.
Yeah, so whoever we do have a website, Catholic Charities website. If you go on there, there is a tab that says Food Pantry or Food Access. And if you scroll down, there's going to be a little QR code, and you can scan that on using your phone, or you could just click on the link directly, and it'll take you to where to sign up. So it's nice to have those options.
Very nice. And for those who are not as tech savvy or, are a little weary of technology, there's always traditional methods of calling our office, coming down to the office, right? If you're able to email, you can also email us if needed. So we're talking 10 minutes, multiple ways of contact. What do folks get out of it? Why is it a good idea to sign up for CalFresh?
Well, I think it's really important that relying on food pantries is great, and thank God for the food pantries. But it's nice to be able to go to the grocery store and purchase the foods that your family actually enjoys. And now with all the technology out there too, you can use your EBT card for even deliveries. I believe Walmart does it. A few other stores are doing it. And it's an entitlement program. It's out there. So if you are eligible for CalFresh and you aren't getting it, you're not taking money away from somebody to build a school or pave a road. That money will just sit there. It's specifically earmarked for CalFresh benefits for the state of California. So if you're entitled to it, I would certainly take advantage of that. And food prices are not coming down, they're going up. So
yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
What do you think, Raniel? Why is there other benefits? What are the benefits of signing up for CalFresh?
I think it's really like there are a lot of really good benefits, like Donna said. Food pantries are definitely nice, but I think being able to go out and look at things you can normally find at a food pantry. Sometimes we don't have milk, we don't have water, and those are the things you could definitely purchase with the EBT card, like Donna said. And having that option, like you could go to a food pantry and also use that EBT card to get the things you're missing. And it refills every month, so there's no reason why you should have like use for it. And it's definitely eases the financial burden that you might have for food. You could use that money towards something else, right? Like maybe you need to pay rent, and a lot of that money you were using for food, you can now funnel that towards paying off the rent, or making a doctor appointment for your child, or things that are really important. So it helps a lot.
Yeah. So, and you both are right? Because it's an additional source of your ability to pay for food that your family really likes. And Donna, I really appreciate you bringing up that point, right? Because our community is made up of so many diverse cultures, and that brings different food, and there's dietary limitations, dietary restrictions that a lot of times our food pantries cannot accommodate, right? And so to be able to get the basics from a food pantry, but then supplement it with CalFresh to be able to enjoy food with your family and meet the needs that you have. I think that's really important. Can you guys tell us a little bit about an idea of how much a family, an eligible household or individual would receive if they apply for CalFresh?
The amount that you receive in benefits, it's the budget. So what you're spending in shelter costs, so that would be your rent, phone, PG&E, water, garbage, and sewer are all counted and factored into the amount that you would get.
Okay.
And also, like for someone in a homeless situation, and maybe you're receiving SSI, and you stay a couple nights in a motel, you can count that as shelter costs. So to increase the benefit.
Okay.
I did want to, speaking along that line too, I think a lot of people right now are confused if they're receiving pandemic unemployment, which is getting ready to end, as far as we know, at the end of September. When applying for CalFresh, we don't count that additional $300 a week toward income. So if you're really only getting $150 a week unemployment, but it's actually $450 because of pandemic, that's not what goes on your CalFresh application. So it'll be based on that.
I see.
So a lot of people think they're over income because they're getting that extra money, and that's not the case.
So it's always a good idea, instead of, if you're in doubt, if you have questions, it's best to come in, to call, to go online and figure
Absolutely.
out, right, apply, and then determine if you're eligible. But don't shy away, right now. Don't shy away from applying just because it might seem a little daunting or confusing.
Yeah, definitely. The
Absolutely.
process is really easy. And I think from what I saw is the starting amount for one person is $234 a month. And it's 173 per person that is in your family. So depending on that size, you will get the bigger the family, the more funds you'll get to, provide the food for your family.
So those numbers are based on zero income household.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's the absolute max. And I don't know when those numbers are going to change. I don't think at least until December, but that income level, that's pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
when
increased.
this whole mess is over, yeah, because it was about 194 for a family of one was
So it definitely
with
increased.
zero income. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it really depends on your household costs. And another thing too is I think a lot of people they aren't counting all their expenses correctly.
Okay.
I had one client that was denied by the county and was told that he was over income, but when sitting down and speaking with him, this gentleman was paying $1,600 a month for childcare.
Oh, wow.
That is an allowed expense. And lo and behold, he got approved.
So
And
again, talking to somebody, come check, talk with either Danielle or Donna, and you guys can really identify what are those allowable expenses
right.
to really get the true eligibility determination, right? Because we all make
medical
mistakes.
costs is another one. Some people spend $100 a month in prescriptions. That counts. If you have a service dog, that counts. Vet bills, dog food, believe it or not,
wow.
that is the expense. So yeah, and if you don't know those things, you're not going to ask for them. And if you go directly to the county, they may not ask you.
And it just depends, right, on the way that the eligibility worker is doing their analysis, how the person responds to the questions.
Correct.
So if you're in doubt, or if you have received maybe a denial of your application, it's always best to just double check. Sometimes we miss things, maybe we forget to explain, or circumstances have changed, right? What happened last month is different than what's going on this month.
Correct.
And so we want to make sure that we're having that conversation, getting to know what's the real situation, and then reflecting that in the application. Now let's see here. So Don, I think you mentioned something earlier too, in terms of it's not a public charge, right? CalFresh is not a public charge.
No.
So for those who have questions regarding their immigration status and how this will affect them, it does not count towards public charge, correct?
It does not. And in fact, it's actually a very small percentage of our immigration population that is not eligible. If you have legal status here in the United States of any kind, you're eligible, you're okay. Now, if you are undocumented, but however you have children that were born here, the children are absolutely entitled. We do have to use the parent's name because the benefit has to be in an adult's name, the EBT card, and we will look at income, whatever that source of income is. But they are more than welcome to opt out of the application. And when they have their phone interview, and we will tell them this too, when you get your phone interview, they're not, all you have to say is you're opting out. You are only requesting the benefits for the children.
I see.
And that should be the end of the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in what you're seeing, Ranielle and Donna, as families, regardless of their immigration status, families from a household of one up to multiple children, right, multiple family situations, who are taking that chance, right, to say, well, I'm in need. That's a vulnerability point, right, for many folks to say I am in need, and they ask you about CalFresh. What's the response that you guys get from the community as you are talking about CalFresh or offering CalFresh?
Well, different segments of the population respond differently. I do know in our immigration community, there's a lot of misinformation floating around on television all over. And they're just scared. They're not going to risk it. I tell them what I just said, that it is not a public charge. I offer literature, in Spanish or English or Tagalog. I think those are the only languages I have right now. Explaining, no, it is not a public charge. Again, if they are worried about it, but the kids were born here and they do have legal status, you have the option to opt out. Just ask for the children.
Good. That's a good message for sure. Rainiel, what's been your experience as you explain about CalFresh to folks that come in?
A lot of it is definitely like they didn't know if they were eligible for it, especially now because of the pandemic.
Right.
A lot of them didn't know that before it was called CalFresh, it was actually snack, or I didn't even know it was called snack, but it's like the supplemental nutrition. There was like an
assistance.
Acronym. Assistance, yeah, right. So I didn't even know that. Like, some people don't even know that big change, and I think that was a big thing when I was talking to people about CalFresh. They were like, "Oh, what's CalFresh?" And they're like, "Oh, is that food stamps?" And then, there's confusion. And like, I know right now from a lot of the meetings that we've been to is that CalFresh is making a lot of changes, not only to their website, but to a lot of being open to majority of the population. So like, I know homeless people are very afraid of applying for CalFresh because, there's not much you could do. You need a place to get mail, but they're very cooperative with that, and they find places where they can actually obtain an address to pick up their mail from. So they're very, very helpful. So I definitely want to let them know that it doesn't matter if you're homeless or um, you're not able to get that. They're very accommodating. So the county's very promotional about that. So it's nice.
And again, the one thing that I encounter a lot is people saying, no, I'll leave that for somebody else that really needs it. I'm okay, I'm getting by. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you're eligible for it, it's already in the budget. The state of California knows exactly who can get it and who can't and how much they can get. So if you walk away from it, it doesn't mean your next door neighbor who you think needs it more is going to get more. It doesn't work that way. So, yeah. And I mean, and again, it's an entitlement program. It's a nutrition program.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to, get healthy food for yourself and your family.
Cool.
Also, seniors are a bit reluctant.
Okay.
First of all, they think they don't qualify because of the SSI thing, which SSI recipients are now eligible after 40-something years to receive CalFresh in the state of California. Again, it's the stigma around food stamps being welfare, and the older population sometimes shy away from that. But when you explain that this money isn't being diverted from something else, then a lot of them say, okay, I will go ahead and apply.
And kind of talking about stigma, right? Because I think it ties a lot into our values as an organization, as Catholic Charities. We believe every human person has human dignity, right? They are a dignified person. And when we feel ashamed because we're in need or because of the stigma associated with having an EBT card, I think it's our role to remind folks that human dignity means that you have a place to live, food to eat, you're getting the care that you need. And so this is just a tool to allowing you to fulfill, right, and to live fully in your human dignity. What are your thoughts about that, you guys?
Totally agree.
What do you think, Raniel?
Yeah, definitely. I think, having human dignity means not setting apart people, right? We're all here to come together and thrive as a community, and it's our job to kind of uplift our the people around us and make sure they feel not too different from anybody else, depending on their status, right? And I think that's kind of the importance of being able to supply people with food and bringing people together. And I think food definitely does an amazing job of bringing people together. So I think it really does impact the people that we help, and CalFresh is another, good source. And it's really important, it's hard to think on an empty stomach. Am I right? They're right. So
yeah.
And I think most people know that benefits are now on an EBT card. It's not like the Monopoly money of years ago. I'm now probably too young to even remember that.
Those the small squares, right?
It's like old Monopoly money. Yeah, so when you're in the grocery store, I mean, nobody even knows you're using the EBT card. I mean, if they do, they're standing too close to you in line for one thing. But other than that, yeah.
Just peeking over your shoulder.
It's just like a credit card. You swipe it and you put in your PIN and off you go.
Yeah. And I'm thinking too, when we're in July, we're getting close to people or students returning to school, both, from all age ranges, from elementary, high school, even to college, right? So the need for nutritious food is going to increase. Schools do a very good job for families who qualify for the food program, right? The lunch program, but lunch isn't the only meal. There's breakfast, and then there's dinner, and then there's all the snacks in between, especially for growing children, right? So I definitely think the CalFresh program supplements that, right? As we're going back to school, we're going back to work. Our bodies need to be fueled.
Yeah, exactly. So that was another group, like students are definitely eligible to apply for the CalFresh program as well. So I don't think, did any of us mention that yet?
No, I don't think we did.
No, and
Okay,
college
students specifically,
they lifted some of the restrictions during the pandemic. So a lot of college students who weren't eligible last year are going to be eligible now.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was lifted at least during the pandemic until, and young children are receiving pandemic unemployment, I'm sorry. CalFresh. Yeah, so and the pandemic CalFresh EBT card actually comes in the child's name. And per child, yeah. So they get additional CalFresh, but they have to already have been a CalFresh household to start to receive that. And that is up until December, right, RJ?
Yeah, that's what they told us.
Again, unless it gets extended, yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of reasons why all of our community members, if they're in need, if they're, like we said, Donna, just kind of getting by, this is a program that helps you supplement so that you're not having to just get by, or at least being able to divert some of your hard-earned income to other needs, like you were mentioning, Raniel, and using CalFresh to supplement your food needs. So really, it's a supportive network, right? And it's not meant to stigmatize, it's not meant to alienate, but it's meant to provide, again, access to nutritious food that we all need. And talking about access to nutritious food, we also have a food pantry program. And Raniel, you are our lead in that program. Tell us a little bit about the food pantry.
Yeah, so here at the food pantry, we definitely supply a lot of our clients with healthy and fresh foods. such as vegetables. Sometimes we get milk, meats, and then shelf-stable foods because sometimes people don't have access to refrigeration. So our next best bet would be into canned goods, which is something that lasts a long time, and it's good for emergencies as well. So um, yeah, we're definitely open to all as well. Trying to support everyone and anyone that we can. But yeah, our food pantry is definitely has been a big help to many, I believe.
And before coming to Catholic Charities, you hadn't really worked in a food pantry before, right?
That's right. Yeah, this is my first time at a food pantry, so I did not know what exactly to expect. But I was very surprised that I was called to here, but I'm very happy to be here. Um, yeah, yeah, there's definitely something new for me.
Yeah. What do you think has been the most shocking experience or eye-opening experience for you as, you've been managing the food pantry?
I think how appreciative the community is for the work that not only I do, but that the work that Catholic Charities does, and how much, I heard so many stories from a lot of my clients who said, I used to have to come here everyone I know that I tell, hey, go to Catholic Charities. They helped pick me up when I was on my knees, and that's very, it's very humbling. I think this is a very humbling job and humbling experience to be able to be that shoulder for others to lean on. And I think it's important because sometimes you don't know who to go to, and having someone or somewhere to go to is, it makes the difference in whether or not you choose to fight or, stay still.
Right. And the food pantry really transforms both ways, right? Transforms not only the folks who come and use the services of the food pantry, but then also there's volunteers, right, who are also part of this transformative process, and they made not only time. Tell us a little bit about volunteers and maybe what the food pantry might need.
And boxes, a lot of the majority of the a lot of the majority of the work will be, helping others and making sure the food pantry is in tip-top shape, making sure it's all smooth. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen, pretty, depending on the donations, right, that we receive and what we're able to have in the food pantry, I mean, I've seen families take home, deli meat and eggs and milk. Other times we don't have that, so it is a little bit of a smaller box, but we try to supplement with more shelf-stable food. I know we have a lot of macaroni and cheese right now. That
yeah, you'll get two
it was
boxes.
wonderful. So, families with young kids or even adults that love mac and cheese, we definitely can fill that need, that craving. Uh,
That's true.
and I love seeing the fruits and vegetables, right, that come out of the food pantry, because eating pasta or peanut butter sandwiches and rice and beans sometimes can get a little tedious, but to be able to have fresh fruit like grapes and strawberries and potatoes and apples, that just, again, gives your body different nutrients. It gives you a different perspective. Um,
Mhm.
and Donna, you've been here for quite a while, and you've seen that food pantry program just be consistent.
Oh yeah.
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 I remember when the shelter in place were starting to be, families coming in from out of Solano County, right? Because our food pantry program is based out of our Vallejo office. And we had families coming in from American Canyon, from the East Bay, because,
Napa. Yeah.
yeah, Napa, they were looking for food. The food was so necessary. And of course, although we do focus on serving both Solano and Yolo, if somebody is in need, we're not going to turn them away. We're going to give them something to keep their family and themselves
Right.
nourished and connect them to the nearest resource, right? Because we don't want them using up their precious gas money, driving all the way out to Vallejo when they have resources available that are closer.
And that
Tell
was
us a little bit
during the
about,
lockdown and the wildfires, both. So we had people from Santa Rosa, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and that's another thing with CalFresh, by the way. We are able to do disaster CalFresh. So if
Okay.
you're in Solano or Yolo County and it doesn't happen, but God forbid, you are in a disaster, we actually will get deployed to the site and would be able to do your CalFresh application on site.
All right. Yeah, and like you're saying, Donna, hopefully nothing happens, but we do have to face the reality that we are in a drought. It's a very dry season. We've already seen, right, a lot of wildfires this year. And in the event that something should happen, right, that is our role. We do respond to disasters. Not only our food pantry, right, becomes available, but then also CalFresh. And that is something that, it's an immediate need. If you're in a disaster situation, emergency situation, so many things are going through your mind, but to know that you have a source for food and access to food, that just makes a big difference as you're kind of thinking, what's my next step after this disaster?
Right.
And so let's talk about a little bit about why it's so important. I mean, we have food pantry, we have CalFresh, but so many other organizations can provide the same services, right? Let's talk about a little about why is it so important for us to do that as Catholic Charities? What do you think, RJ? Why is it so important for us to do that, to offer those services?
I think, it's part of our mission to just, sustain those families and make sure they're nourished, make sure they're, not just nourished, but learning about proper nourishment. Like you said, having those different foods to go along with, the kind of food they need, the kind of vitamins they need. And, we're also not just focused on food, right? But we also focus on being able to be to lift off the burden off of the other financial issues that they might be having. Because sometimes, like during disasters, you might have to focus your mindset on other things. So having not to worry about food, having not worry, hey, what am I going to feed my children tonight? What am I going to have to do that? To okay, this is my next step because Catholic Charities provided me with food, and I could think about what to do next. And I think that's kind of like a really, really big part that we play in helping others out, especially during disasters. And as Catholic Charities, it's our goal to make sure that everyone has the help they need and has that shoulder, like I said, to lean on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's really great the work that we do here, and I'm happy to be a part of that kind of big experience, a big impact.
Yeah. On average, how many families are you seeing in the food pantry program?
Since I've been working here, actually, we've had a lot. I'd say average per week, we get around 75 to 100 people, and then maybe 90 families. It varies, but it's definitely a lot sometimes, which is good.
And
fine. Love it.
It is good, right? And you
Yeah.
think about that, those are every single individual, every single family that walks through those doors and is able to receive a box of food. Again, it's not just food, right? It's beyond that. It means that they're able to go home, feel a little bit more safer, more stable, and like you said, kind of focus on the other things that are kind of going on in their life, but they know that they can feed, their family members. And Donna, you have been here for some time, and you've kind of seen, right, the different crises that our community has been facing. Why is it so important for you to participate in the CalFresh program, which you refer to the food pantry program?
Well, for one thing, I mean, we've existed in Solano County for what, 80 years, if not 80, almost 80. And now we are also in YOLO, sorry. And we are a very trusted fixture in the community. So people feel safe coming here. And, you know, to have their needs met. And a lot of times when they're coming in for food, they find out all these other things that we do here as well. And it is important that our community trusts us and they rely on us, you know, for guidance and to help them. And you know, it's part of our mission statement, you know, that we need to live up to. And it's really very rewarding, you know, the things that we do here, and definitely the food. I mean, if you don't have your basic needs like food and shelter met, you know, that's the least you can do.
Yeah.
And it feels great to know that you're connecting people to those very essential needs that you really can't live without. Well, food, certainly.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely cannot live without food. So as we wrap up here, let's remind folks again, starting with CalFresh, how are the ways that they can apply?
So by phone, email, the internet, or they can come in person.
Okay, and so that means calling our main office here in Vallejo.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they
and then
can
also,
do that.
So internet, if they visit our website, like was mentioned earlier, there's a QR code. If you're able to use your QR code with your smartphone, or just come on into the office, call us.
Or if you don't like computers and you don't happen to be in Vallejo, you're anywhere in YOLO or Solano County, we can absolutely do your application over the telephone. It's not a problem. Yeah. You know, if you're not comfortable on the computer, or, you know, you want to talk to a real live human being, you know, feel free. You know, and if one of us isn't available, which we usually will make ourselves available, we can certainly make an appointment. And again, we're talking about maybe a 10-minute appointment.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Very
but
fast.
a lot of our information should be in the video, possibly. I don't know. I'll leave that up to John, our super awesome tech guy.
Yeah, definitely. We will share that information on our with the video on our social media. And Raniel, can you tell us a little bit about how to access a food pantry program?
Yeah, definitely. So very similar to the CalFresh program, you know, give us a call to our main office. Our receptionist will definitely set you up with a date to come in. And then you'll be filling out a general intake just so we know how much we have to give you. You could also email me if you want directly, or, you know, our front office will go ahead and connect me to you. So definitely. And also through our website. So, you know, there's tons of ways, but I guess calling would be the best way to set up an appointment and, you know, come to this.
All right, and we're still doing like a modified contactless delivery, right? Where folks, once they have their appointment and they fill out the intake, you know, now they're part of our system. You get calendar to pick up a food box on a certain day. You check in and then you drive around the back of our office and we're able to put the food directly in your car. If you don't have a car, it doesn't matter. We will still provide, right, with the food that we have. And then also for homeless folks, you know, we do have special kits for homeless individuals, because we know, you know, sometimes access to food storage is not it's not easy. So, you know, for those who are working with someone who's homeless, or you see somebody who's homeless who's in need of food, and if you're in the area, I know you can definitely stop by as well, right?
Definitely.
And then the last message I would leave is, you know, join us in this mission. If food is a passion for you, if you feel that, you know, access to food is a basic human right that everybody should have access to, regardless of their status, of their situation, We all fall on hard times, and to have the ability to talk to somebody, to know that you can apply for CalFresh on a 10-minute application, even by phone, or to even pick up, a very basic food box. Sometimes it has surprises in it, right? Nutritious and good stuff in there. But if you feel that is somewhere where you belong, we invite you to sign up as a volunteer on our webpage. If you feel generous, we also accept donations of canned goods, and Ranielle is actually a perfect contact to kind of talk about what are the needs of the food pantry that particular week or that particular month. Sometimes people want to donate a large quantity, but we are a small facility, and so we want to talk to you and figure out, how can we best accommodate the need that we're seeing and also the generosity. And lastly, both programs, both CalFresh and the food pantry, well, actually more particularly the food pantry, donations of monetary gifts are also very much welcomed. We also need volunteers to help us pick up food on Monday mornings. We partner with the Food Bank of Contra Costa and Solano, and we love the opportunity to pick up donated food and free food items from the food bank. But we always need a little bit more support. Sometimes we can't bring everything in because we don't have the capacity to do so. Loading, putting food boxes together, that is always very much appreciated, in any help that we can receive. So as we wrap up here, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Ranielle. Thank you, Donna, so much for sharing your insight and your knowledge. Again, you can call our office. You can check out our website. We kind of break it down by program. You can contact us through there. You can also visit us if you are in need. So thank you so much. Remember that if you are in a difficult situation, or you know somebody in a difficult situation and they are in need of food, we are here for you and accessible. All right, everyone, take care. Thank you so much.